let's see if old Uncle Mike's in. Well, might get sunny today. If you don't mind, I'm going to put you right there. Hello. Welcome to Easel Talk number 4. This is your painter in residence. I'm Francis McCarthy. You're going to have some coffee. I've got something prepared. I have assistants to help me now. Whether they're very good is debatable, but so the concept is what I did last week. I thought that last easel, there was good information in there as far as the structure. At least it was a format for getting information to you, so that's good. But try to do better. The idea was basically take one of the chapters of my book and break it down into some processes that I could communicate in a talk. And we're doing that again today. We are doing that again today. We have the feature of the focusing sound, which is great. I am getting a little pin mic. We'll see how we do with that. Yeah. I read all the reviews. I tried one way back in 2018, and it had a thing that plugged into my video camcorder, and then the thing that pinned. But I'm not a little guy, and so it would be a lot of. Yeah, you do this. It's no good. It's no good. Hopefully, this one won't be like that. Otherwise, you'll just keep dealing with it. Okay. The 3 movements of momentum. Now, if you've been on the channel at all for any length of time, every now and again I'll start cracking into my momentum talk. I've done a chapter in the book. We got 1,500 words on momentum, and this will probably be a lot more because we're just going to go all over the place. Okay, but we have some notes, and we keep that. We use that to keep us on the straight and narrow. To me, momentum is probably the greatest ally that you can enlist for helping you learn how to paint. Okay, what? Yeah, we're gonna need a brush. Maybe I'll use a red one today. These are okay. This is the Art Spectrum. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't hold up to the Treacle. It doesn't hold up to the Robert Simmons. But you can make paintings with this brush, and I have done. Now I gotta get the Treacle. I was trying to give you a chance, Art Spectrum. I was trying. Oh yeah, that's a better brush. Look at that. Beautifully formed. When are they going to sponsor me? I don't know. But it's not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah. We're selling books, by the way. I'd like a lot of you to go sign up for my Substack. If you sign up for my mailing list, I sign you up for the Substack. Because all these years I've had the mailing list, I didn't have a steady stream of content or a way to do it. And what I love is Substack just makes it so easy to post things. The editor is easy. It's easy to add images, video. It's great. Love it. Anyway, back into our talk. Yeah, so I hooked into momentum. Yeah, we're going off a lot of sidebars, but I don't know if you've heard of a guitarist named Steve Vai. Everyone, he's incredibly technically gifted, and why would I bring that up in a painting video? Well, Steve Vai hooked into practice as a self-reinforcing. Oh, is that light on bothering you? Oh, I'm going to get rid of that. We don't need that. That's kind of for at night when the studio's empty. Oh, that's better. Hey? Sorry about that. All the little details. All the little details. Make sure I clean my glasses. Hopefully I don't have any breakfast on my shirt. Anyway, Steve Vai, so he just hooked into like, practice 5-6 hours a day. And he noticed as he kept practicing, he got better. That's the way you get better. And so, and the guy interviewing was like, discipline. He's like, it wasn't really discipline. He says, discipline is required to force you or to get you to do things you don't want to do. It's not necessary for things you do want to do. Like paint, you do. A lot of times we set up a lot of reasons why we're not going to paint, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, in today's talk. Let's get starting into movement 1. Fueling the engine, understanding why momentum works, okay? Let's define momentum. Momentum, to me, it means that you are painting regularly every day is best, you know. It doesn't have to be for 4 hours a day like Steve Vai was practicing, but I will tell you, as much energy as you have that you can put into painting will be rewarded by improvement. Now, the fact of the matter is that you improve much more rapidly early on when you're starting than you do later, but many times the gains later, they'll be significant, but it takes a long time to build up to them and cross the threshold. Like my recent painting I put up on a channel, and it was looseness. It's all about the looseness, and it's not especially. You might look at that painting and it doesn't look that loose to me, but compared to where I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's very loose, and that's, of course, valuable. Now I hope we're not going to miss. If I don't move, we don't hear the camera, but the focusing sounds, it's friendly and comforting. Okay, the benefits. So we've defined momentum for our purposes as painting every day. Yeah, we'll get into different modalities of that, but for now, we'll just keep it there. The transformative benefits of why and how momentum will work for your improving your painting process. First of all, it makes it really easy to let go of the bad ones, okay? I've talked about all this stuff I've brought up a million times, so yeah, I'm not even going to keep saying that I bring it up all the time, because we bring it up all the time, but there's always new people coming around, and a lot of points that you may have heard or been introduced to, at one point you might have said, yeah, but then you forget about it. So it's good to keep going over this ground. If you do 4 paintings a month, and 2 of them are bad, it's going to be hard for you to let those go. You're going to keep them around because you have a mental framework of, I'm a painter, I make paintings, that's a painting I made. Even though when I look at it, I feel like, getting a bit sick, Okay, so if you're painting every day and you do a bad one, who cares? Not that you necessarily are going to be able to do a painting every day. Now, that's very much a function of your mental outlook and the size you're working and what sort of subject matter you're going after. But it's a good goal, frankly, A little painting every day and then a big one now and again is a great goal. So there's less pressure as it lowers the psychological weight of each individual painting because you're painting all the time. Oh, we got the light hitting the railing over there in the office. Yeah. So everything becomes just so much easier, And when you do that bad painting, I've talked about, I think it's just my latest video, it's like, if you do a bad one, which you will, and you need to do lots of bad ones, okay? But if you do, it hurts. It still hurts me. It still stings, And I could even be deeper in shock and disbelief because I'm doing this all the time, every day, pretty much, So why would I do anything bad? Well, you do. That's just how it goes. Yeah, but you just get on the pony and ride it again the next day, and there go after a subject and a style and a size that you're more comfortable with, and get yourself flowing, and then a little later on down the road, go after it again, whatever it was that threw you. And there's so many ways in painting to go wrong, and it's fine. And in fact, most of that will come about. You'll learn about it through experience. So you develop eyes and the ability to discern the quality of your own work more when you do more of it. Okay. Yeah. So the more you paint, the greater your knowledge grows, the greater your skill, and the momentum fills in the blanks. So if you just keep a steady momentum going, whereas in the past, if I painted once that day and the other day and the other week, and then maybe you're making improvements, but you won't make that sort of like massive improvement that you want to make. And let's face it, you should do, because of all the fake stuff in the world you could be doing, making real painting. You need to hold some painting. I have a bunch back here. You can see I've been working. I like this one. That's a coastal. It's nice, eh? It's very nice. You see these are, this one is on the channel right now. That frame, yeah, forget about that frame, but it's in a frame. And it doesn't have to be in the perfect frame in your studio. Are we missing? I'm going to pause and just check. It was. I think it was. Sorry about that. Okay, back to our outline. We're still on movement 1 of the movements of momentum, the unstoppable movements of creating unstoppable momentum. You don't have to be like Steve Vai. Let's face it, most people aren't going to be like that intense. You don't have to be intense. You could do a half hour, an hour a day. And what you'll find though is that that'll become one of the most rewarding and fulfilling aspects of your life, because you'll have, first of all, it's a part of your life where you have forward momentum. Yeah, sometimes you fail, but if you just keep at it, you've got momentum. Hey, whoa, we just come back. So we're going to talk about how do you maintain momentum. Well, here you go. That is a 5x7. Now 5x7s are good for me. I can sell these pretty reasonably. I get tourists to come out here, so yeah, they want a painting, but do they have $3,000 or do they have $200? Okay, then you get to cover a lot of ground. Let's see all the different things. Yeah, so many small pieces is great because every scene is its own learning opportunity. Even as I mentioned again recently in a video where you might go, oh Mike, you do a tree here, you do a tree there, you do a pond. I mean, how many times are you going to do it? Well, I can do it infinite times because every tree is different, every pond's different, every sky is different, every path is different, every scene is different. These are archetypal elements that fascinate me, and that I rearrange, but I can fail any time. It doesn't matter if the structure is the same. I won't mess with that. I'm going to ignore it, okay? Because you are more important. Social media, while on the video blogging platforms, is not recommended. Okay. Yeah, so, but don't, in this small, you work in some bigger ones now and again. I'd say every fourth piece, do something. Not by bigger, I'm not talking 3 feet by 4 feet. I'm talking 11 by 14 or 16 by 20. And when you do those, have the same sort of goal and outlook as a small piece. Just make your brushes bigger and say, don't, in your mind, it's very, I'm talking from experience. In your mind, it's very easy to say, well, it's bigger, it'll take more time. It doesn't have to. Where's my brush? Use a bigger brush, even bigger than this. The bigger the brush, the quicker it will go. And if you think about it, if you scale proportionately the brush sizes you're using to do those little paintings, if you scale them up to the bigger painting, like a brush that might have been great for that 5x7 might have been like that, but if I scaled it up for 11x14, it should be that big, not that big, right? Good stuff. Yeah, we just covered that. You scale up the brushes and have your mental outlook as being not a big deal, not a big thing, just a bigger brush, same amount of time. And you might find, yes, it takes you a little bit more. I had one the other day. I had a very, very successful, are they still out? Yeah, that one I pointed out last week's Easel Talk. So it was a high watermark because it took me about 2 hours or so with a brush like this. And then I did this one, which I'm very proud of. That's on the channel this week, right? In spite of that frame. I don't love that frame, but whatever. That took 3. And I could go, oh. But I had the same outlook. I had the same mentation, which is just put down the stroke and leave it alone. And so I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't care if it took 2 hours, 3 hours, or longer. The idea is that I was setting out to do it in an expedient manner. So let's keep going. The danger of intermittent work. Yeah, so inconsistent, and we talked about that a little bit. If you're intermittent, it could be challenging to be painting all the time. And, mostly, don't tell me it's your family and this and that or your job. Because if I'm watching you, and I know exactly how much you're on that phone, and I know you're scrolling, I know you're wasting time, so don't even give me none of that. That's just a bunch of nonsense. It's not true. You can make time to paint, and if you don't want to, that's fine. It's your life, but you have the time, and you need to make it if you want to be good. And then your life's going to be better because you're actually engaged with doing something that's bringing value to your life. Are we misting? I can't tell if it's misting or if it's the focus. I think we're okay. If it's misting a little, it's a feature. Okay. Yes, the rocket analogy. So, think about this. When they are shooting a rocket into space, like the overwhelming bulk of the energy expended is being expended getting it up off the ground. Once it's in movement and moving, it requires far less energy to keep moving. And this is the strongest, most foundational principle of momentum that you can utilize and put to work for your painting practice. And you don't have to paint for 4 hours every day like Steve Vai would practice guitar. You don't have to do that. You could do a half hour or an hour every day, and the same principle of momentum will work, where you're just keeping yourself moving and you're making progress. So this is really, it was in my mind after the last Easel Talk. One of the next things I wanted to talk about was momentum, because I really believe that once you hook into it, it tends to be a great ally. Movement 2. Building the structure, creating your daily practice. Okay, making time, addressing the no time excuse. We already got in that a little bit. The phone, the TV, the social media. Did you know you could buy the book? Landscapepainter.co.nz. The book cost $65 US. Reevaluate how you're spending your time, okay? because it's not bringing you joy. It won't bring you joy. Maybe it did once a long time ago when you talked to your old girlfriend on the Facebook, and it was great to catch up, and you found out how everyone was doing. But that was a long time ago, and now it's a bunch of AI slop, ads, nonsense, distracting little shorts that you just go, look, the bunny. Oh, look, it's a glass strawberry. I can cut it with a knife. Okay, great. What did that bring as far as value to your life? It's entertaining, it's cool, but yeah, we need to get out of that mode 100%. So make time to paint. You should make time to watch your videos from Uncle Mike. Seriously though, turn off this video right now and go make a painting. You can pause it. It's a tab on your browser. You can just come back anytime, right? So you make that time to paint, but it's better to not be sporadic like that. Although I will say, if you get that idea, like maybe I should stop this and paint, then do that. But what's better is to have a regular practice. I come home, I take off my shoes, put on my slippers, I get my pipe, I get my sniffer of cognac, and then I pad on over to the painting area and look at yesterday's progress. Is that misting? I'm going to bet it is. I'm going to assume it is. And by idle, I don't mean scrolling. I mean, if you were sitting in a chair just doing nothing, that would be better for you than scrolling. I know that seems crazy, but you could be making paintings in your mind. You could be, don't use that as an excuse not to paint, by the way. I'm making paintings in my mind. No. Go make real paintings. Make a bunch of bad ones and a few good ones. Throw away the bad ones. So we'll probably get to that. The dedicated space. Now, I think this is really important. This is all in the chapter in the new book, by the way. And this is all wisdom gained from years of experience and learning, And then I remember the dedicated space. I came across that idea maybe 15, 20 years ago, reading this. It was a writer, and he was talking about how he had a desk and he had an old laptop, and the laptop wasn't plugged into the internet. And when it was time to write, he just went over to his writing desk with his writing laptop and wrote. That's all he did. To get data off of there, he put it on a USB stick or something and take it to his regular computer, to process and things. But the idea is that you don't want to have distractions. So have an area in your house that's set up just for painting. You could go, well, my house is tiny. I rent a room. Well, tell me that you don't have a corner that you can set up your paint. If you're telling me that, why even bother? You're just making a bunch of nonsense excuses. Of course, you have a space you can dedicate to it. So do so and have your paints always set up. Have your chair there. Have a canvas on the easel. And if nothing else, you'll walk by and go, oh, I'm not painting. Oh, I'm scrolling. I'm doing something else. I wish I was painting. I should be painting. And I don't want you to get in all that guilty crap either. Just stop all that and make a painting. It's not hard. And then make another painting the next day. And then after a while it becomes reflexive. It becomes a habit, a positive habit. And then you're on your way. You're on your way to a much bigger, bolder, brighter life where you're actually creating work and being a human being that's like completing the circuit of the creative energy that comes in to you through the sun and through the universe and the food, and it moves on, and then you make paintings, right? That's a good time to show you the book. There's some of this in this book too. We've been selling lots of books. You would like the book. This book is not going to be replaced by the new book I'm writing. The new book I'm writing is like this sort of stuff, just going deeper, fuller, further out. And it's kind of designed that you could take on a chapter, in 10, 15 minutes and then bolster yourself or look up areas where you're weak. Yeah. Okay, the dedicated space. We are into movement 3. Now, I'm going to have to guess how long this video is. I shoot for a half hour. Hopefully it won't be much more than that. But if it is, it's because we're talking about something very important. Yeah. What? Sorry. That's what I see a lot of the young people do. They hold these little tiny microphones. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do this so you won't hear the teapot too loud. Movement 3. Keeping the flow going. Sustaining your momentum. Right? So 2 is building the structure of your momentum practice and creating that daily practice. But 3 is keeping it going, those little bursts of energy. Like I was saying with the rocket analogy. I'm going to make one-handed coffee here. One-handed coffee. You ready? I know it's instant. Many people turn their nose up at instant. I did my whole life. This is the thing with instant coffee. It's not going to be better than regular coffee. But if you get your ratios right, it's fine. It's not bad. And you don't waste a bunch of coffee. And as you know, coffee is expensive. This is my studio practice. I used to make a pot every day and, half or a third would go to waste. Now we just make it as we need it. It's going. Okay, so preserving the momentum. Okay, something like a bunch of bad paintings. Let's put that back there. I don't want to hold this. I don't want to hold it. Why are you giving me a hard time? There we go. Yeah, doing like, oh, this painting's bad. The painting after's bad. The painting after that, bad. Why bother? Let's just give up. You can't paint. Why are you bothering? I want to be a painter. I love art so much. And I feel so much deep inside. I want to express myself. But everything seems to go wrong. Yeah, that's right. Everything goes wrong because you can't paint. So stop. Don't listen to that guy. Don't listen to him. He's wrong. It's just a voice in your head. Okay? So, again, the solution is 1 painting, 2 painting, 3 painting bad. You probably have some confusing ideas in your head about what it is you want to do and how you're going to do it. So, sometimes we go down these avenues that are not fruitful, and that's fine. We need to go down all the different avenues. You can't just create a complete and comprehensive painting practice all in one go without going down some avenues that aren't going to be productive, So maybe that's what's happened to you. A lot of things could happen to you. Like I said, pull it back, get into some solid territory where you're going to be a bit stronger and start supporting yourself as an artist. Also, one thing you could do is, like, instead of doing a lot of going after finished paintings, just start, like I brought up yesterday, last Easel Talk, I mentioned putting that expensive transparent gesso on a piece of paper. Forget about that. Buy some cheap house paint and just put that on, not thin paper. The thick. You know what? I'm going to get up and show you. I got. This is not expensive paper. Just found this the other day. All right. Sketch pad, acid and lignin free. It's probably not rag, but how thick is this? Yeah, that's thick enough. It's not gonna. It would be thicker. Would be better, but that'll. Come here, you. No way. That could be thick enough. Anyway, quick house paint. Start with a color like here's, by the way, Deep Earth. It comes like this. That background color you see. Now that's a big one. You can get little ones. These are like New Zealand, like $15, depending on the brand. I have a bunch of different ones. Yellow ochre didn't work. Gray is great. This one is, I don't know, some kind of taupe. That didn't work out either. But That deep earth, you can see it's a bigger can because I started with a little one. And I said, oh, I love painting on this color. Roll it on there, let it dry, make your paintings. Just do drawings, just do one color underpaintings. Do a bunch of those until you hook into one. You go, man, this looks like this would be a good painting. And don't get into any of things like that either. It's just very much like all your paintings being small as opposed to doing some big ones now and again. If that's your remedy for getting out of the string of clinkers, then maybe 3 or 4 in, you're starting to get your bearings and feel like you're doing some pretty good compositions. Okay, it's time to fully realize that as a painting and not spend 4 or 5 hours, not making a masterpiece. Forget about all that mythologizing, by the way. Yes, mythologizing is a lot like a condiment. It does make your life better, but the problem with it is it also comes with a consequence, and that is that the more you build up your internal myth about you as a painter, the more you have to live up to it. So you don't need a lot of that. What you need to do is to just get yourself some good practices and habits going. So let's keep going, because we're sustaining the flow. Momentum is your guide. Ooh, yeah, draw your line. Will you paint 5 days a week? Will you? I'm talking to you. Get busy. Get cracking. It's not hard. It is hard. It's not hard to paint. It's hard to make good paintings. Now, there's a difference. And you will never be able to make good paintings unless you make bad ones. So release yourself from the need to make good paintings and just make paintings. And some of them will be good and some of them will be bad. And you throw away the bad ones and you keep the good ones. And you'll forget about the bad ones. You will. Trust me. If they're not around tormenting you, you won't think about them. Yes, the momentum will carry you through the tough spots. You just, so especially say you bombed out. It's extra important there not to jump off the train, because the longer you stay off the momentum train or momentum rocket, then you're going to have to expend a bunch of energy to get started again. And will you? Will you? I tell you, I have students, and God bless them, they came back to it 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years later. Think of all that time. Think how much better they would have been if they'd just been painting that whole time instead of making a bunch of excuses, why they couldn't paint. Or, oh, I got busy. I got busy with my kids. I got busy with my job. I got busy. Yeah. You got busy scrolling and watching TV is what you got busy doing. So, anyway, make paintings instead. Or get mad. Turn off this video. Oh, he doesn't understand me or my life. Yeah, that's true. I don't. But I do understand one thing, making paintings, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you with that. Yeah. And momentum is your friend. Yes, I have a good strategy after the failure. We make something familiar and comfortable. And when momentum breaks, this is the point. We made all these points I keep looping back, and this is one thing about what my assistant came up with. It's like, you'd say, hey Mike, talk about momentum for a half hour. Psh, no problem. I could talk about it all day because of all the things I talk about. This is really critical stuff. Breaking down the process into simpler, easier steps. That was last week's video. The process. Do an underpainting, do the sky, do the land, do it in one pass, and then stop. That's process. This is a principle, more of a principle, which principles and processes are what are going to turn you into a great painter. Okay, yeah. So last thing I want to say about the maintaining. So you hit the a bad point. Things went really off the rails, and it's happened a couple times. It's getting hard for you. You think, oh, why even bother? I'm not very good. Which is logical. But how could you be good? How many paintings have you done? Tell me. Was it 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 or 1,000? Have you done 1,000? If you've done 1,000, you're not crying like that. You're not. If you've done 1,000 paintings, you know that some of them are going to be good and some of them are going to be bad. you're not even coming from a place like that. If you've done 10 or 15 or 20, that's where the real painful part of the process comes in. Yeah. So you've gone down the tributary, it wasn't working out, pull it back, regroup, and set yourself up at the last place where you were doing well, and move forward from there. And consolidate your losses and your gains, right? And then start moving into other territories. That's what you want to do. Okay, so that will lead you to the ultimate reward, the compound effect of the 3 movements of momentum in your painting practice. Because momentum creates exponential, which is a word we hear a lot now with the old AIs, you know. Exponential means it's not like, it's like this, right? It blasts away, especially so important when you're first starting out to get into a regular practice, and you will just see, like, from one week to the next, you're going to be like 2 different painters. It's really possible, especially if you're hitting it every day. It really is. Oh, the next thing was a guarantee, and I just guaranteed. Yeah, broader application. It's not just painting. As I mentioned with the Steve Vai story, it's guitar, or it could be anything you want to do. Any way you want to improve your life, momentum is the way to do it. And the principle of momentum is your greatest ally. Just to come back to where we started, that's where I started when I said your greatest ally, because once you set it up, it supports you, it helps you move through all of the steps necessary to achieve mastery. So get a good habit going. Start focusing on momentum as a part of your practice, your part of your painting practice and your painting process, and watch the improvement just exponentially grow. I guaranteed it once, I'll guarantee it again. Final call to action. Fight to maintain your practice. Fight to keep it. You know, you may be the partners I've ended up with are the ones that allowed me to do art. When I was younger, I did have girlfriends and stuff, and they'd be like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "What? I'm doing some art here. Come on." "Oh, I'm bored. I want to do something. Let's go do something." "No, man, I got to do my art. I want to be an artist." "Oh, that's bored. I'm bored." How long are you gonna do that? You get what I'm saying? Those people are not the people you want. Oh, or maybe that person is just so awesome and wonderful that you don't need to make art. There's a lot of things. It could be people that pull you away. It could be your own inner voice that tells you, "I'm not good enough. Why am I even bothering?" And that's not true, because you don't know your potential until you put in the hours. And then once you get in the positive exponential ladder of growth, then you'd be like, "Oh, Uncle Mike saved me, because I might not have been an artist at all. I might have gone through all these traps. I might not have made it out of the spider web of nonsense and BS that kept me from being a great artist," right? And it is there, it's other people. A lot of times too, these other people might be messing with you because you're doing something and they're just scrolling, they're bored, right? And they want to drag you down with them. Don't listen to that. And I'm not saying, divorce them or leave them or any of that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is do your thing. Just say, "No, babe, you know what? Why don't you go to the store or something, because this is my daily hour of painting here, and that's what I'm going to do." Or, "While I'm painting every day, you can scroll," whatever, okay? So that was the final call to action. This 3 movement structure provides a clear, compelling narrative. Does it not? Does it not? I think this is better than last week's. Now, you got to the end. You want to, do you have means or methods to support Uncle Mike in his little dream studio here? It is a wonderful life. However, it's not a financially rewarding life. But the rest of the world, it hasn't been too bad, but the rest of the world's going to be catching up with me, okay? We're all going to end up being artists, just supporting each other's endeavors. So if you have the ability, tip on over to the Substack and sign up for the Studio Pass. Maybe you're a member in the YouTube. That's great. You can just stick with that. There's hundreds of videos there. That's called the Golden Archive. Really, you should do both. You have access to the Golden Archive and then the newer, nicer, tastier tidbits that are going into the Substack. Like the video I just put up last week, which was a limited palette. My very first, teaching myself how to make a tutorial video. There's a lot of great learning in it, and it's there. I didn't bother promoting it on YouTube or any of that, in spite of advisors telling me to do so. I'll put up half the video and tell them to go watch the other half in Substack. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. I just want to have you help me if you're able to buy this. Well, a lot of you've been buying the books. Great. Thank you. Great. Comments. Did you like this video? Did I help you? Thank you, Mike. That'd be good. Whatever. You don't even need to thank me. It's just a smiley face. Any of that's good. Any little bit you can do. Anyway, until I come back with another Easel Talk, take good care. Stay out of trouble. And where's mine? Oh, we were coming out of that. Great. Where's my little magic wand? What did I do with it? Did you know you could buy the book? Landscapepainter.co.nz. The book cost $65 US. Did you